Welcome back, Pirate Crew. It's your Captain Yeehaw Yadam, and for today's video, we're going to be looking at one of our test games featuring Ace versus Katakuri. Now, I'm fortunate enough to have both members of LosFiends here present, play testing with me. I'm going to be play testing my deck alongside Jonathan, so we're going to be going back and forth on a couple of plays, and we're going to be playing against Andrew, who's playing the Katakuri deck. Now, Ace is a leader that I'm going to be trying very desperately to make good, but at this current time, I'm kind of feeling a little bit of a struggle, right? There's a lot of different matchups polarizing the meta right now in terms of the late game that yellow has, the aggression that red has, and the mid game that purple and blue has. So it doesn't really seem like there is a way to build a deck in specific to counter all of these, as opposed to make your deck as clean and as effective as it wants to be. So this is one of the initial builds that we currently have for Ace. This is after quite a bit of testing, but definitely there's more alternate builds that you can do with Ace that I'll be going and showcasing in the future. So I opt to go second here, mostly because I want to keep my opponent off the even curve so that they're not on 8 Katakuri, 10 Big Mom. That curve is really, really tough. So I'm going to be taking the second from, even though my going first curve of going 7 into 9 is really, really good, I think stalling him a turn on the Big Mama just might be more effective. So I have a great start here in the Striker as well as the Buggy, and my opponent has a fantastic start of Pudding, searching the Pero Sparrow. So by adding Pero Sparrow, going on odds, it's a very telegraphed turn. Then my opponent's going to go ahead and attack me for 5 and then summon the Pero Sparrow. I'm going to go ahead and take the 5. I had to decide for quite some time, no trigger, and then go on my turn. So for my turn, there's quite a couple things that can happen here. And one thing that so I go ahead and try to activate the Striker, and then I think to myself, well, there's just no point in doing that right now. Because even if I do the Striker and I find like a Fire Fist, which would clear the board, it's not, I can't cast it immediately, right? So because I only have 4 Dawn. So I have to go swing 5 and then play a 4-drop of my choice. Now, the fact that he defended it is really, really smart because that just gives him 1 more life. So if he Thunderbolts my Marco here, then it's almost as if he would have, taken that. If he would have taken that life, he would have just been in a deeper hole at that specific moment. So I did choose to develop my Marco because it's just on 4. It's better to develop a body than to go ahead and like just do nothing. My opponent goes ahead and Thunderbolts, removes my Marco, pitching a Strucin off of life, so that's 1 less 2k, thank God. Swings at me for 5, and then I opt to defend the 5, thinking that he's going to go ahead and attack me for 7. And that's something that's really, cheeky with Katakuri. They can always swing at you for 7, 8, 9 at any point in time, right? He has 3 Dawn available, which if he doesn't have a 3-drop, just signifies a 9 to the face. So he goes ahead and swings at me for 5. I take the 5, and then he opts to play another 3-drop in the form of the Kitty. So it goes back to my turn. I'm now at 6 Dawn. I do have Striker available, and I think I have 5 just top deck Fire Fist for turn. I'm going to go ahead and swing at Pero Sparrow for 5 to see if I am able to KO it, and he gives me the Pero Sparrow to search a Pudding. Now again, he hasn't found a Big Bomb yet, but he's already Puddinged into Pero, so that should be quite a bit of cycle that he's had. So I'm going to go ahead and try trigger my Striker here. Striker's going to go ahead and find me the Radical Beam. And I'm going to just go ahead and immediately pitch it. It was just looking for any event, right, to pitch off this Fire Fist, just to clear the board, to kind of stem the bleeding that's currently happening in this game state. Now, even though I'm removing my opponent's characters, I'm not developing at the same time, and I'm just hoping he has like a very soft turn, which it's quite hopeful thinking. I do have a Flame Emperor into a 9-drop, so I do have that going for me. So as long as I can go ahead and just slow him down just a little bit, that would be great. So I'm going to go ahead and tap 1, and then this is something me and Jonathan were talking about, so deploying this Machina or not, and I opt to deploy the Machina and swim with the Buggy just to place as much aggression as I possibly could. Unfortunately, there are some situations versus yellow where you have to go aggressive on them, right? Because if you let them go to the late game, they're just going to be dropping bomb after bomb versus you. But if you do hit a critical trigger there, like if I would have swung and it was a Pero or a Cracker or a Smoothie or a Brulee, or there's a numerous amount of things that it could have been. It just puts me in a worse game state. So he's going to go ahead and swing. He opts to attach a Dawn because that was a mistake. He needs to look at his own life. He's opting to look at his life because he wants to just go get that information, as he hasn't seen a Mom yet. He just wants to secure it. So he's looking, and he does see the 10-drop there in life, and then he swings over my Machina. Right, so deploying a Dawn just for information at that point in time. Now I'm going to go into my 8-drop turn, which is still like a not a crucial turn for Ace. Nothing big is really happening here. So we'll see what happens at this point. Now I do have to just apply pressure. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Ezo. Ezo is going to go ahead and see if I can find anything important here. And it's between Whitebeard or a Marco blocker. And the blockers are very important in this matchup. We already do have the Whitebeard. And as long as we have a Whitebeard, we should be perfectly fine. I'm going to go ahead and activate the Striker. Striker is going to go ahead and unfortunately whiff. That's one of our proxies there for a Marco. Unfortunately whiff off the Striker. But it happens. What can you do? And then I think we just chill here and see what we can do. Now, the reason we didn't immediately fire the Flame Emperor into the Cracker is because of the fact that he does have the Katakuri in hand, right? So we are aware of the Katakuri. Now, he's just going to take this life gladly because of the fact that he knows it's Big Mom and he knows he's getting a Katakuri next turn, and he knows that if he takes that life, he's going to be in a position to Cracker us for 2. So very, very tough situation to be in. He's going to go ahead and swing 7 at my leader for dual check. And yeah, I could give him 2 cards here, and I think I opt to give him 2 cards. I'll go ahead and 2k plus a ability of our leader to pitch for 1. So we're just deciding what we want to do. Go ahead and pitch a 2k plus the Flame Emperor for 1k. Now, the reason that we do this is because we are telegraphed the next couple of turns and how this game is really going to progress. And we know that the 10 drop or the 9 drop is going to come very, very soon. So he opts to go and play the Katakuri. Now, Katakuri can go ahead and life whatever he wants. He opts to life the Cracker itself and then passes it back to me. Now, that's pretty good because it basically denotes me from... It does the same thing. If the Cracker's in the board or it's in life, it's the same exact situation, because if I swing at his life here, it just summons the Cracker just by pitching a card in hand, which would he'd have to do anyways to go ahead and save it onto the board. He just this way can pitch a card that has no counter. He opts to pitch a Brûlée, which is better than a 2k, right? And it opts to go back to my turn. So I pass it right back. I do have a blocker plus a 9 drop and 1 Dawn standing. We already know that we're never not getting Mommed here. It just is the way it is. And then we're going to see if he chooses to attack or not here. He opts not to attack, which is really, really smart, because if he does attack, I can go ahead and just round table the Big Mama and then swing at the Katakuri and then clear 2 big threats for the price of 1. In this scenario, I don't get to do that, so I'm just going to go ahead and -4 the Big Mom. And then I'm trying to see how much Dawn I really have to play with here. So I can go ahead and tap for Striker. Striker's going to go ahead and find me the Radical Beam. And then me and Jonathan are just discussing what else we can do here, because it's just going to be a tough couple of turns. We're going to need a lot of cycle to really, truly get there. And honestly, if any sort of big trigger happens in life, we're going to be in a very difficult position. So we're just going to grab Fire Fist here. Going to go ahead and attach 2 Dawn, or I guess Fire Fist here. That's perfect. Oh, we decided to go for the Radical Beam because we don't have the Dawn available to use the Fire Fist and to attach to our leader and to attach to Whitebeard. So it would have been really cool, because then we would have been able to clear the Big Mama, clear the Pudding and the Cracker, just leave him with the Katakuri. So he has the Katakuri into my 1 blocker, which is pretty darn good. But in this scenario, I go ahead and swing for 5, swing for 12, pop the Big Mom, and then I see that he's deciding if he wants to trigger the Sovereignty or not. And then I pass it back to him. I play Izo, and then I pass. Izo's going to go ahead and find me a 2k of my choice. Now, I would love to grab the Fire Fist here, but there's just no way that we grab it, right? I have the Marco or the 2k, and I think we just grab the Fire Fist, sure. And just another Big Mom comes down, just going to burn my life. And here's where it just gets really tough. Since I wasn't able to apply a lot of pressure early, I just get stuck in a situation where here I am, just getting Big Mommed after Big Mommed after Big Mom. So go ahead and I pitch a card, or I go ahead and block, pitch a card, go ahead and pitch a card, and just remove basically my whole hand. That was just to revive the Marco. That's to 1 5k attack, and then the other 5k attack I just pitch a 2k. Now that last card in hand, that Seaquake, is actually supposed to be another round table. We're just trying to play as many round tables as possible, because a scenario where we have the Whitebeard and round table combo just seems to be the best. I know it's really troll that I don't have a common round table, but I just couldn't find it at the time of testing. So the round table has to come down here. Just going to go ahead and hit the Big Mom. Right, so I go ahead and denote it. And yeah, tough times. He has a lot of cards in hand, I think roughly around 6 or 7. I go ahead 12 into the Katakuri, which is going to go ahead and rip basically his entire hand. He goes ahead and saves it. The Big Mom goes. And yeah, I'm in a tough spot. If I even want to go ahead and contest the Katakuri, I'd have to immediately put 3 Dawn into my character. That still leaves him with Cracker. I mean, even with the Marco, I'm still in a tough spot because his leader just checks me infinitely if he wants to with very few Dawn. Go ahead and play the Izo. Izo's going to find me a cross shot or a crossfire. Go ahead and do this to clear that. And even though I cleared most of the things, I will just be lethaled by the Katakuri and I guess both Katakuris, right? The leader and the character card. So I go ahead and swing for 5. And I remove a character, and like I'm doing things here just for fun, but even though I can go ahead and do that, it's still over. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.